In a few minutes, we will start this webinar. You can interact by chatting. So I think it's interesting that you try the chat so I can see who is already there. Feel free during the presentation to ask your questions. I will try with the chat to answer immediately, or if not, I will answer the questions after the webinar. Okay, so already 4 people chat to me, 5, so I see that the chat is working. So in a few seconds, I will start this presentation. Good morning, Tomasi. How are you there in Cyprus? So, hi, Peter. This webinar is a kind of presentation, online presentation, because normally we had a final presentation in Riga, but like you know, we are not able to travel, so we try to make this final conference and do different webinars. So this webinar is about how we used digital storytelling in Brussels as a way to tackle radicalization. So I will go to the slides. I will show you some movies. So let's start. So I'm Veronique. I'm director of Max VZ2. And Max VZ2 is bridging digital divide and organize better access to labor market for the more disadvantaged people in Brussels capital region. We are living in a neighborhood with almost 200 different people from different nationalities, and the unemployment rate for adults is about 30%, and the unemployed rate for youngsters is about youngsters, and then we are talking people from 18 to 25, it's about 52%. So also it's a very poor neighborhood. Most of the people living in poverty, and only 50% of the people have only the primary school degree or less. So many people who doesn't have been at school at all. And that's important to see what kind of people we are working with. So the timeline is, we had in March 2015, we had the bombings in Brussels, and so we tried there to respond and do some activities in schools using digital storytelling. Then after the bombings, we had some schools in, first of all, we had the school Anessence Funk, who asked for an intervention because one of the pupils, Bilal Hatvi, was one of the guys who bombed himself in the Stade Saint-Denis. So what was happening? Those youngsters were sitting in the classroom, and one of them disappeared, and then they saw the news that the guy bombed himself in France. So that was one of the first time we used digital storytelling to talk with youngsters about radicalization. So in 2017, we had the start for the project Practices, and this project Practices is a Horizon 2020 project conducted by the Université de Toulouse and the University Juan Carlos in Madrid. And we are a partner of it. And our task was to develop a digital a tool, an educational tool, and we choose for digital storytelling. So the first of all, I will show you one story we made before the project practices. This was in the school from Bilal Hatfi. There is a little problem with subtitles. So when I bring this video in my presentation, the subtitles don't work. So I have to go and share my screen with you to show the video with the subtitles. So I hope this will work and you can enjoy. Otherwise, you don't have subtitles. I share the screen now. I think you will not see me again or the presentation during the sharing of the screen. But if you have some problems, tell me in the chat afterwards and I can see what we do. Also, this whole thing is being recorded, so if you want to watch it again afterwards, it's no problem. So I will share the screen now and show you the video.
Ik ben Abu Bakr, 17 jaar. Elke dag neem ik de tram en metro en elke ochtend heb ik een hele grote rugzak mee. En elke dag kijken mensen me raar aan en nemen ze afstand van me. Waarom denken mensen dat iedereen met een grote rugzak of een zak op zich een bom heeft? Of sinds na al die aanslagen voel ik me niet op mijn gemak. Ik ben dus al een paar keer gecontroleerd geweest. Ik voel me echt niet goed door wat er allemaal gebeurt. Sinds toen ga ik met de fiets, dan kijken mensen me aan. Vandaag heb ik eens weer de tram en metro genomen en ben opgepakt geweest door mijn rugzak. Ze hebben belachelijk gemaakt voor iedereen. Vanaf vandaag neem ik geen rugzak meer mee, ben dit allemaal beu geworden.
So I hope everything was okay. Oh, you can see the screen. Okay. I'm gonna try to see again what happened, why I didn't see the video. Okay. No, but it's a problem if I cannot see. So I share the screen. I will try it again. Did it work this time? I don't. I will try another way. So I try to go on and see what's happening. So you see, yeah, I can send the video links afterwards, so you can see it. Then I think the video links are also on the slides from the presentation. So it's important for us when we work with youngsters that the most important thing is that we see that the youngsters themselves are the experts, and that we are not coming to moralize and tell them what they have to do and what they have not to do. Digital storytelling is about youngsters who can talk about what they mean, what their interests are. So when we talk about radicalization, one of the specialists, Lorenzo Vidino, of the Center of Security Studies, is one of the most famous researchers about radicalization. He told us that mostly when you recruit some people, they explode a lot of emotional triggers. And then we try to find out, because digital storytelling is very working on emotions, that digital storytelling is also working on this emotion. If the issue is an emotional one, it's interesting to respond with also an emotional answer, and digital storytelling is providing this. For the few of you who doesn't know what is a digital story, I give the definitions again. A digital story is a 1 or 3 minute video, and it is told in the first person narrative. This is very important because the whole methodology and the work is to let people help them to tell their story with their own voice. They use still images and they put a voiceover with it. And if they want, you can put music, but it's optional. And the storyteller can also bring the call to action. So I give you another example, and I will try to do it in another way. But I don't know if in this way you will have subtitles, but the video is in French. I hope. So I hope you could see end the video and the subtitles this time. Can you tell me if it worked? Okay, so I don't understand what was happening the first time. So why we developed this methodology? You see this methodology, and you heard it in when the girls were talking. That is kind of it's a form of expression. It's also a digital form of expression. So most of the youngsters like it. It's easy to share, and it's very emotional. You heard in the video when the girls were talking that there was a lot of emotion in it. I see people are telling me that there were no subtitles. I will send you the links of the videos afterwards, because I don't understand. I see the subtitles on my screen, and I don't understand why you cannot see these subtitles. So when we start such a project of digital storytelling, most of the participants are telling us or asking us, do you think my story is interesting for someone? Most of them think that what they want to tell, or what they should tell, is not interesting enough for a public. So that's the first thing we have to convince them, that every story brings something for other people. And when they see the little movies, mostly we try to show one or two before starting a project. They tell us we are not able to do this. So that's two important things that you have in mind when you start such a digital project. Almost what is interesting, a digital story is something you want to share. So it's also interesting when you start a kind of project, you have a kind of consent form that the youngsters agree that the videos can be shared, because a digital story is made to be shared. If people don't want to do it, mostly we tell them that we share it with a password, so they can choose at who they show the video. When we talk about radicalization or violent extremism, many reports have been written on this, and you see here a whole list of reasons or that youngsters go into violent extremism. We see first kind of identity problems, then security, also status and honor, an opportunity to resolve injustices, and an opportunity to fight back, a kind of empowerment, and also a buzz. So we were talking, is digital storytelling giving a few of those things back to people, and is this an alternative, even if it's a tryout and a prevention tool? Is this an alternative to work on all those things? And yes, I will try again with this video, but I see here also, if you don't have the subtitles, I will tell in a few words what it is about, but I don't have this video. No, I will try again with the screening, the sharing of the screen. I hope it worked now.
Dit is het verhaal van 3 jongens die naar Syrië zijn gegaan. Het waren 3 Belgische jongens. Ze hebben een aanslag gepland tijdens het EK. Ze kwamen terug naar België en maken zich klaar voor de aanslag. Zij nemen contact op met mensen die in het stadion werken om daarna sneller naar binnen te geraken. Ze geraken binnen en beginnen op iedereen te schieten. Na de aanslag vluchten zij naar buiten en laten de terreur achter zich. De 3 jongens gaan na de aanslag naar de McDo eten. Ze hebben iets te vieren en eten er samen Gianburger met varkensvlees. Met een glaasje wijn, natuurlijk. Op basis van dit verhaal zullen jullie beseffen dat deze mensen geen goede moslims zijn, maar mensen die alleen terreur willen brengen in de wereld. Mensen uit elkaar halen en onze religie negatief in het nieuws willen brengen. Iedereen tegen de mensen die terreur willen brengen in onze vrije wereld.
So I don't know if it worked. I hope it worked now. I will see. Ah, that's okay. So now the third one was the good one. So we can go on. If we talk, I already told you that we are talking about an emotional approach with digital storytelling, and we try to find out how it works. So with the youngsters, we worked a lot about identity. We worked with mostly youngsters who were between 2 cultures, and youngsters who grown up in Belgium, but at the same time they had a background with another culture because their parents were refugees or migrants. And when we talk about the prevention of radicalization, what is also interesting is, and that is research that Dunia Bouzar, a researcher from France, did, is that going back to the childhood well-being is an important one, and reflect on your life is also important. If youngsters are in danger of radicalization, it's interesting to go back to the childhood and tell them that they have an important that they have a family here, and that this in family is important to them. Dunia Bouzar is talking about when people are in danger of radicalization, parents should be make them listen to songs from their childhood, or looking at photos and memories, because she saw in France that this worked a lot. So you see also that the narrative provides a useful method for people to make sense of their identity and experience. It was a famous psychologist, Goldstein, who told us this. We see also that it's an individual process. We are looking at identity, it's individual, and the individuality distinguishes people from others, increasing their resilience and autonomy. I will try to show you again a video. Okay.
Salut, là à l'écran, c'est moi. 2 yeux, 2 oreilles, une bouche, un nez, bref, tout ce qu'il y a de plus normal. Pourtant, je suis issu de 2 appartenances ethniques différentes. D'un côté, j'ai un papa de type européenne, de l'autre, une maman de type africaine. Leur fusion a donné ça, moi, un enfant qu'on catégorie normalement de métis. Métis d'accord, mais je suis noir ou alors blanc? Salut tout le monde. Ah tiens, voilà le petit noir. Mais je ne suis pas noir, je suis métissé. Oui, bon, tu es noir, quoi. Salut tout le monde. Et le blanc, tu es là? Blanc? Vous trouvez que je suis blanc? On ne trouve rien, tu es blanc. Papa. Quoi? Je suis plus noir ou je suis plus blanc? Tu l'as un peu de deux, mon fils. Quelle question? Mais pourquoi alors des fois on m'appelle le blanc, des fois le noir? Tu sais, les gens ne connaissent pas et ont peur de ce qui leur est différent. Suis-je différent? Non, tu es parfait. Tu sais, nous les blancs, on court au soleil et on fait des séances de solarium pour devenir basanés comme toi. Et les noirs, tout le monde sait qu'ils mettent de la crème éclaircissante pour avoir un teint parfait. Après tout ça, j'en conclus que en fait je ne suis ni noir, ni blanc, ni même métis. Mais je suis juste un humain, comme vous tous d'ailleurs, un citoyen du monde.
Okay, I hope this worked also. I go back to my presentation. Also, digital storytelling permits that you develop a critical way of thinking during your videos, and you can express your opinion because you can make your voice heard, and it's an alternative way also to tackle injustices. And all those things were important in when the research talk about radicalization. People go to ISIS because they want to express their opinion. They want to fight back injustices. So we try with the digital stories to trigger those things. So I will show you again another video. I think it's the I thought it was the last one, but it's not the last one. So I have to share the screen again.
Een jongen is op vakantie in Marokko. Hij speelt op het strand, met getijden van de zee. Op de achtergrond klinkt muziek. Altijd maar muziek. Liefst miljonair. Dat is zijn favoriet. De jongen droomt van een cd-speler. Een eigen cd-speler. Om muziek te spelen en te beluisteren. Wegdromend over het verleden, heden en toekomst. Muziek is voor de jongen een droomfabriek. De tijd is gekomen om naar huis te gaan. Maar de jongen heeft een plan. Een plan om een cd-speler te kopen. En verder te kunnen dromen. Over het heden, het verleden en de toekomst. Ze keren terug via een enclave, Melilla. En hier gebeurt het ondenkbare. Paspoorten gestolen. En hierbij ook alle rechten. Het recht om een grens over te steken, om te mogen passeren. De jongen zit vast. Wachten. Geduld hebben, wachten. De jongen wil naar huis, naar zijn familie, in België. Een ondervraging, wachten, nog vragen, wachten, nog meer vragen. En slapen in de auto, op een parking van een politiebureau. Na 2 weken wachten wordt de jongen ziek, van het wachten. En dan uiteindelijk het verlossende bericht. Je mag door. De jongen realiseert zich dat het gevoel niet binnen te mogen verschrikkelijk is. Dat het niet fijn is om niet binnen te mogen. Een domme grens dan nog. Hoe erg moet het dan niet zijn om dat steeds mee te maken, keer op keer, om illegaal te zijn? Dit is het verhaal van een jongen die een grens niet over mocht, tijdelijk. Die jongen, dat ben ik.
Okay. So, also we try to make some well-being, some honor, and the bus comes at the moment that all stories are finished and we share and like them. It's also very important when we do digital storytelling projects that we show a kind of we have a kind of public moment, a show moment where all the videos are shown to the audience and that people can invite their friends and show that they can be proud of their story. So how we do a workshop of digital storytelling? A workshop of digital storytelling, it takes about 10 to 20 hours to make something interesting with schools and youth centers. And we worked on 3 topics. First of all, the identity. Secondly, solidarity. And the third one is and social media. So a lot of a story starts with a card. We use a lot the Dixit cards. If you look at Dixit in the internet, you see it's a game with cards that you can use to help people to tell some stories. Also, when we talk about identity, we ask with people to make their coat of arms with their device values and so, or an identity starts. Star when they talk about family, nationality, friends, heroes, leisure. Also, we ask them the question, tell us about the last time you felt you were you. And it's amazing what kind of stories you will get then. Also, sometimes there is a part of research. They look about what is telling about topics in the news, so they can make up their mind. Sometimes they talk about their own experience, And in this project of radicalization, we had sometimes guests, the parents of children who were gone to Syria, who come to talk about their experience. Then we have something very important, that is the story circle, and the story circle permits everyone to tell their story, but we have a few ground rules. You are not allowed to criticize other people, and you can only give feedback on comprehension. So this is very important because the youngsters, when they have discussion on difficult topics, it's not always easy that they cannot criticize another one. But it's very important in this story circle that everyone feels safe and secure to tell his story without being interrupted or criticized by another one. So afterwards, we ask them to make a storyboard, and you see it can be very simple. So they put in their mind how to make their story with this storyboard. So after the storyboard, we start with images, the voice and editing. Images can be drawing collages. It's important to work with Creative Commons, so we don't want youngsters to use images who are not free of rights. It's also a point of media literacy that they learn that neither music, neither images that are not free of rights can be used. So then we do the voice recording. This can be with a smartphone, a dictaphone, a tablet, or simply a micro put on the computer. In the editing, we use a lot iMovie when we have iPads. WeVideo is also an interesting thing. And free. DaVinci Resolve is also free. Shotcut is also one of the editing programs we use. And these are easy, free programs, so youngsters can work with it. We work a lot also with adults with iPads, because with an iPad or a tablet, you can do also the photos, the voice recording, and the editing in one program. So I already told you the tools. You can have cameras, micros, music, a screen, and a computer. Then after the digital storytelling, we do also a lot of active reviewing. You see here one active reviewing with the hand. People put their hand, make a drawing, and then put in the thumb what you like the best today, in the middle finger what you didn't like, and it's a way to do active reviewing. So the conclusions are most when we talk with teachers, they told us, I will never had the courage before to work with youngsters on a difficult topic, and the story circle permits, because most of the teachers are afraid of fights in the classroom or verbal aggression one with the other when they talk about difficult topics. And with the story circle, this was completely countered. And then the youngsters told us it was the first time we talked about our identity. It was very fun, even if the theme was difficult. And then they see at the end, I have a story to tell, something interesting to tell, and I'm proud of my story and the way I made it. So if you're interested, you can go and see the Digital Me toolkit at this address. We have also worked with this project were mostly with youngsters from plus 15, and with younger people we are working mostly only about identity, and then they make a little movie about their identity. So in the future we will also try to work about, because now we worked a lot on extremism and radicalism, religious radicalism, but we will also work in the future on hate crimes, and maybe also use virtual reality to put people in the situation where they are a victim of hate crime, so they can talk about their own experience being in the skin of someone else. So this is mostly the end of my webinar. I hope I inspired you like others inspired me. And if you have some questions, so the webinar will be recorded. All the links I show from the video are in the slides, but if you want the links separately, you can also ask me. I don't know if you have some questions. No, I don't see any questions. So Gunilla is asking me, how big is the group you work with? An ideal situation is about 8 to 12 youngsters, but in classrooms sometimes it's not possible. And then when they are 25, we work with them and they make one digital story with the group. Yeah, then they work in little groups from T. Stefan asked me if the impact of the activity, what we saw from the teachers is that they said that it's the first time that they could talk about a difficult theme in the classroom, and that was for most of the teacher, it make kind of a better link with the pupils, and they were in a more safe of secure situation. That was what they told us. So we did not do it because there is a question about, are you always in the school? No, we did it sometimes with youth centers and also with adult groups about different themes. So this digital story is a methodology that you can use for many things. So I don't know. I think if there are no other questions, I will stop here, and I hope you are all safe at your home, and that this webinar brought you a little inspiration in these difficult times. Thank you.